Hi, everyone. My name is Lindsay, and welcome to my first YouTube Live. I'm so excited to talk to you guys on Halloween, which is one of my favorite holidays. And we're going to talk ghost moments in your customer experience. In case you don't know who I am the founder of Fiercify Creative and Consultant. I am the host of More Than a Brand podcast and the creator of Flow Lab, a CX AI empowered software that helps small businesses learn what moments their clients are starting to ghost them in their customer experience. Oh, I'm excited. So let's talk about ghost moments and what that means. And before I get into what those mean, I definitely want to paint a picture of ghost moments. So here we are. So think about it. So let's think about it. And there's some moments that are quiet and costly points in your customer journey where your potential clients are vanishing without warning. Like, sometimes they're clicking on stuff, they don't convert into DMs, they get to your webpage and they bounce. And inside those moments are where you are losing those customers, you're also losing money. So before we get started with the ghost moments, I want to walk you through the 5 phases of customer experience, talk a little bit about my R.I.S.E method, and then show you where most businesses, especially service providers, including those coaches and consultants, are unknowingly leaving money on the table. You ready? Let's jump right into it. So first, you might be really consistent. You may hear when people talk about CX, you're like, what even does that mean? And that's the entire experience from the beginning to the end of your customer journey when they're learning about you, all the way to when they're starting to bring their friends. And there's so many inconsistencies in small businesses CX because most of the time we are building the plane as we're flying it. We take a little bit from we may get flow desk and then we may get a website. And so we're putting all these pieces together. And when we're piecemealing things, then we don't necessarily connect them until the end when we're starting to lose people. So we fixed that here at Fishify with using what we call the method. So that's research, innovate, strategize, and evolve. So what research is exactly what it sounds like. We dig into your qualitative and your quantitative data, and we figure out what the baseline is for when people are experiencing your business. With innovate, we craft systems that align with not only what will help your customers, but it also aligns with you as the business owner and your team. Next, we have strategize, which is where we lay out the customer journey that guides folks effortlessly from, hey, who are you, to, hey, take my money and let me bring my friends so they can buy something from you too. And then lastly, the evolve piece is where CX is never done. We keep helping you improve with feedback loops, real-time feedback, and retention strategies that actually work. So when I say we don't just build systems or websites, because a lot of people are like, you just do websites, right? That's not the case. We build and engineer entire transformation for your customer experience. We turn your messy back end into missed signals and into seamless, intentional revenue driving experiences. So today I'm going to pull back the curtain. Originally, I was going to do a live CX audit, but I was like, all right, girl, being ambitious. This is my first YouTube live. So I said, let me do some planning. And I'm going to give you some ghost moments that I uncovered during one of our current clients' audit. I'll keep her completely anonymous, but these are moments that I've seen when we've done these audits, and hopefully there's some things you can take away. So first, we all wish the customer journey was linear, right? We wish it was like add, click, sell, testimonial, repeat, bring a friend. But that's not the case. People are very, very busy. Me and my friend call it, we squirrel. We forget about what we're supposed to be doing. I might be in the middle of purchasing something and then my dog runs around or the cat knocks something over. So my mind goes somewhere else. So the customer journey is not that linear thing. But when they get distracted, there needs to be a way to be able to bring them back. And that's why we break the journey into 5 phases. And each one, there are moments where they're going to ghost you, and that's okay. And I'm going to show you what I mean as we go through this slide. Okay, so the first one is, let me make sure I have the right slide up. Awareness. So the first phase is awareness, and that's when they first spot you. So imagine you're a coach and they find you, let's say on LinkedIn, or you've done a couple blog posts, or you've been on a couple podcasts, and someone finds you. So the first ghost moment that where people usually lose folks is that the vibe is visible, but it's not consistent. So in the beginning, I talked about how we're piecemealing things together. You're not the same person you were yesterday, right? Or you definitely weren't the same person you were when you first started your business. So your vibe in the beginning is different from the vibe in the middle, is different from the vibe at the end. So when they're finding you on Instagram and they go to your website, you are completely different. They feel like it catfish. So like if your banner profile and your post captions like don't match the energy or the value of the people, of what people are where they're finding you at, then they're most likely to bounce. So we found with this current client that the average session only lasted 20 seconds because the vibe across the awareness phase just wasn't matching. And that's barely enough time to blink. Yes, is more than the average. People usually only spend 5 seconds on a website or less before they decide if they want to purchase from you. But 20 seconds is not enough to make them aware, do the consideration, and the conversion. So there's some ways you can fix that. If you can do it with content pillars, a short bio, optimize SEO, but your first impression can't be given confused and inconsistent. Okay. So your second ghost moment. Consider this is during the consideration phase, what I like to call the dating phase of your business. So they're probably lurking, they're scrolling through all your posts. They might have followed and they maybe clicked the link. They're not trying to look too desperate. They don't want you looking back on their stuff. But that ghost moment is you're not nurturing that attention. So let's say they did download a freebie, a mindset PDF, and then what? Do you just have them download it and you do no follow up? Don't, and when I say follow up, I'm not saying bombard them with 1,000 emails and 1,000 texts, because that's a quick way to get somebody to unsubscribe. But you have to find a way to continue to nurture them after they give you that little bit of attention. So in December, with this particular client, we are going to add a 2 email welcome sequence with a personal video intro to help nurture that content or help nurture that person when they are in that consideration phase of my client's customer journey. So that was your ghost moment number 2. Ghost number Ghost moment number 3 is conversion. So in conversion, the conversion phase where I'm in the moment is where they have booked that discovery call. So just like, yeah, you got their attention. They found you, you got their attention. Now like, you know what? Let me book this call or let me get ready to buy this thing. You nailed it. But that moment, that ghost moment that people actually lose their customers, or they go from a one-time hitting a customer to a retention, loyal customer, is there's no follow-up, no clarity, or no easy next step. So I did a podcast episode earlier this week, and we talked about when you are creating this content or when you are creating your services, there needs to be a logical next step. Don't just be creating random PDFs that doesn't push them to the next phase of the customer journey. We have to be really intentional when we are building our CX journey. And that ghost moment in the conversion phase is usually caused by not following up or not having any clarity or an easy next step. Number 4, which is retention, phase 4 of the customer journey after the buy. So after the buy is so important. And I can't stress enough how much easier it is to keep clients than it is to get new ones. So here's the truth. The sale is not the end, it's the start. So your client should have to be guessing, like, what's the onboarding dot like, or when can I expect the check-in? So that ghost moment is when you deliver without delight. So you just deliver this thing and they're not delighted about it. So one of those ways to rectify that is to, one, make sure your systems match the price point, and it's also matching the service that they expect. So we've done all this from awareness. They got the vibe. They're like, yeah, I love it. I did my lurking. I love it here. I want to give you my money. I give you my money, but that was lackluster. I'm in a Facebook group now, and that was one of the comments that someone made about the service that they purchased, is that they expected more. So after they expected more from the thing that they purchased from the service provider. So you don't want to deliver lackluster. Um, and phase 5 of the customer journey is loyalty, that ride or die phase. And that's when they're telling their friends about you. They tag you in Transformation Tuesday posts. They're doing videos, they're raving about you, they're talking about you in their group chat. But there is a ghost moment that people often fall out, is you never ask, or worse, you don't create a reason for them to return or bring their friends. So one of the things that I always recommend people do is create a referral program. Some kind of referral program. Like, hey, if you bring me a client, then I will give you a free 20-minute one-on-one. Something to make them keep coming back. Or you can have some kind of community space, like, hey, we'll do a community workshop because you brought a friend, something that keeps them loyal and keeps them bringing their friends. You definitely want to fix these moments with recognition, exclusive events, clear opportunities for them to, one, want to be able to bring someone, but two, feel like they're getting rewarded for bringing people to you. Let me check the chat. Okay, good. And then lastly, the last phase and the last place where you'll see ghost moments is sorry. That was the last phase. Loyalty is the last phase you'll see ghost moments. But you have to stop losing people between hello and sold. If people keep ghosting you, it's not necessarily your offer, it's the experience to get and while they're receiving your offer in the gaps inside your journey. That's why I always recommend you map out every touch point, from your captions to your payment page. Turn each one into a strategic advantage so you don't have those gaps where people are falling through. So before you take the kids trick or treating, hand out candy, go into any haunted houses, I want you to write these things down and work on it. It's a Monday problem, but work on these things on Monday. One, I want you to find your ghost moments, be a little detective, figure it out. Look at every piece of your customer journey, from when people are finding you all the way to when they're like, the project is done, and where can you improve. Next, I want you to track any drop off points. If you, let's say you have like 4 people that reached out to you, were there any drop off points where you didn't do everything you possibly could to, one, get them on the phone, or whatever the next step in your buying process? 3, I want you to, let's stop the silent exits. People are quietly leaving. They don't leave loudly most of the time. People quietly leave, and I want you to work very hard and diligently to stop those silent exits. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. I want you to drop a comment with your biggest aha, or if you want me and my team at Fears of Fight to help you find ghost gaps, let's talk. The link to our website is in the comments. Thank you guys, and have a great and safe and fun Halloween.